The Aggies, the Jazz, the high schools. If it's the sport you care about, we're talking about it. The Full Court Press on Sports Talk Radio, 106.9 FM, 1390 AM. The Fan.
Hello.
You're such a jerk.
Good afternoon, everybody.
You're such a disease.
What? I'm not disease. That's a little strong.
That's strong. You know what?
Eric Frandsen, Ajay, Salvesen.
When are you going to grow up?
You know, the clock's ticking. I'm in here alone. Like, you know what? I'm going to turn the lights off.
Okay, that's creepy.
And I'm going to just kind of hide behind the screens here. And I'm just going to watch to see Ajay running down the hallway.
I was like, all right. He's like, oh, no, he's not there. Well, fetch.
Just the look on your face. You're turning the corner. Oh, crap. Oh, crap.
Well, I didn't say those words. Might have been something else. I might have cursed at you. Oh, man. Thanks, dude. My heart's beating really fast.
That's great.
How are you?
I'm great.
I haven't seen you all day.
I've been around.
Have you, though?
Sure.
Have you?
Just been avoiding you.
I just sit at your desk and wait for you all day.
You're just like,
man, where is he?
You're not here. I know you're not
Mr.
here
Frandsen
because
walks
I'm
in.
here.
Ajay, what you doing? Just waiting. Don't worry about it. You know what? I get paid by the hour. Hey, really
Finding the snacks in my drawer. And eating them.
the stale snacks from 6 months ago that I gave you. Hey, really quickly, can I promote tomorrow's show a little bit more? We've got a couple.
No, that's totally not allowed.
Yeah, we do not promote at all our
Just
shows.
stay in the here and now.
Yes, please. In the present. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. New Year's Eve show, we are going to talk about the top 2020 sports stories locally, nationally, whatever. We've got a couple of texts in so far. 5763's storylines are pretty darn good. 9310 texted his top 3 stories. So we'd like to hear your top sports stories of 2020. And you text into 435-339-0321. We'll hit all of them, too. We won't miss one of your texts. We'll get them all.
And to be clear, that it doesn't need to be 20 stories for 2020. It
No,
just be
just
the top stories.
Oh, my gosh. This past year's top stories. Is
No,
that better?
just we got a text that said, here are my 20 top stories for 2020. So if you want to do that, that's awesome. But you don't have to think of 20 to participate.
Dude, 9310's got a good one. I think there's going to be a common one between every story. I think there's between every text we get, there's going to be one common one. I think.
Does it have to do with the ringmaster?
No. Though that I'm sure that will end up being a story because you made it one. You even put it on CashValleyDaily.com. Big photo of me in my mask.
I should.
No, you shouldn't.
You should.
No, you shouldn't.
We're working on a year in review.
We keep
so.
those sites professionally ran. Let's not screw it up, Eric. So, yeah, we'd like to hear your top sports stories of the year. 435-339-0321 to text it in. Love to hear it. And, again, we won't miss one of them. We'll get to all your texts. We'll read them on air. We'll talk about them. We'll hit every story, too. Some more detailed than others. But, yeah, I'm creating this this kind of end-of-the-year thing, and I realized just how crazy this sports year has been, and that includes not having sports from April to July, and we still had a crazy year. So it'll be fun. Looking forward to that. And we'll be live tomorrow, so we'll actually be in studio from 4 to 6 tomorrow for New Year's Eve, and hopefully you can spend your last day of this merciless, what is that word?
I don't know. I want to
mercifulness.
I want to hear you keep trying to find it.
Well, why don't you help me every now and then? Okay,
That's not as fun.
In India, we call it merciless.
Merciless.
Whatever that word is of a year.
Very. You know what? And this is a good exercise because we kind of get caught up in all the negative that may have taken place over the past year, but there were a lot of really cool things that happened too, and a lot of really good things that happened before COVID. So I think those are definitely going to be part of the discussion tomorrow. But we don't want to miss anything either. So if you've got something that you were aware of that you want to make sure that we mention, hit us up. Send us a text, 435-339-0321. It doesn't have to be a full list. It can be, hey, make sure you mention this.
Was there
We can do that.
Was there a lot of positive out of this year?
Yeah, absolutely. Think of all the state championships that have come to Cache Valley the last year.
There you go. Good one. I like that. That's a good one.
Between Preston and Skyview and Ridgeline and a lot of schools in different sports did very well this past year. And some of those were before the pandemic and some of them were during the pandemic. So pretty exciting to see what they're able to do. So yes, there were some great personal and team achievements this past year that definitely need to be talked about. Well, there's a reason for that. 0945.
I can't remember.
For 2020, I'd love to hear how the Deseret News 4A MVP only made the Cache Valley Radio Group's second team.
The 2020 MVP.
That's for football.
Oh, yeah. There's a good reason for that.
This happens to still be here in the studio.
I might get yelled at by you for that one. But, yeah. Oh, by the way, I was going to tell 0945, and you are going to be so proud of me. 0945. Eric won't care. But 0945, I watched Tiger King. And you were spot on. Because on April 9th, he suggested that I watch Tiger King. And then, thank you, quarantine, I was able to watch Tiger King. Oh my gosh, that show is nuts. That's incredible. So thank you, 0945. You're the best. I appreciate it. I've been intellectually educated in many great ways.
Intellectually educated.
Yeah. Now that's a word.
Yes, it is a word.
Yes.
Yes.
Hey, Eric, big news coming out of Utah State for football. They get a transfer quarterback that comes in yesterday, Logan Bonner. What to make of that, we'll find out. But then
one of the best quarterbacks out of the Sun Belt.
Yeah, absolutely. With three other quarterbacks already in row at Utah State, but then all of a sudden turns around Devin Tompkins. Now, Devin was actually going to transfer and go to Florida State. I had heard it was going to be FAU, and then from what Miley had told me, it was Florida State. I don't know where he's going to fit on that depth chart there. But he then turns around and he says, you know what? I've changed my mind. His statement is, quote unquote, first and foremost, I want to thank the Most High for blessing me with another year of life. There's a lot going on in my life at the time that caused me to become very overwhelmed with life, and it knocked me out of focus. During this recruitment process, as he's talking about the transfer portal that he entered into, I have learned a lot about myself, and it has helped me truly understand what it is I want out of life. With that being said, I have decided that I will be returning to Utah State for my last 2 years of eligibility. I believe in Coach Blake Anderson's vision for the team, and I believe things are going to be back on track. Thank you all for the endless love and support. May peace be with you all. Sincerely, Grandmaster TT, end quote.
Ajay, that's incredible.
So
I think that's already one of Blake Anderson's top recruiting wins. To get Devin Tompkins to come back and to stick around with Utah State, he's got a great wide receivers coach who has produced the last two offensive players of the year in the Sun Belt. They've been wide receivers at Arkansas State.
Do you think... Because we always kind of believed, based on everything that's happened recently, that the players were behind Frank Maile. Do you think that some players were not behind Frank Maile? I mean, he's coaching, and you got players just dropping out like flies, and now Blake Anderson's here, and it's like, hey, I want to play for you.
So it's a fair question. I don't know that there were players that were against Maile necessarily. You're always going to have players who gravitate towards one coach over another. They connect on a personal level. Maybe there's, whatever, variety of different reasons. And sometimes there's players who just don't like somebody who's on a coaching staff. I mean, that's nothing new. That will exist in the future. It's not a new thing, nor will it go away. But I think that it was the players who were transferring, probably that was more a signal of they're upset with Utah State University and their decision to can Gary Anderson.
Really?
Than it was, I don't believe in Frank Maile. I'm not sticking around for Frank Maile. I think it was a variety of things that played a role in that. I don't think you can pin it on one thing saying that they just didn't like Frank Maile. I mean, certainly if you really like Frank Maile, you're probably more inclined to stick around and stay, give him your support. But if you were really loyal to Gary Anderson and dedicated to him and his process, and then the way that he got treated, I don't hold anybody blameless if you decide, you know what, I don't agree with that action. I do find it a little interesting that people that make those decisions mid-season and they don't wait till the season is over. But still, I can't fault anybody for saying, you know what, this isn't the guy who recruited me. When a coaching change happens, this isn't the guy who recruited me. I'm not sure where I fit. I don't know what the situation is. I think I should have the freedom to move because this isn't the guy who brought me here. So I should have the freedom to make a move or do something different.
I heard a story about Sam Merrill that after Stu Morrill had decided to retire, and Tim Duryea took over, that Sam Merrill was being very much recruited by a lot of other schools to transfer out of Utah State and go play elsewhere. And while Sam was actually thinking heavily about that, he had told somebody that I didn't come here to play for Tim Duryea. I came here to play for Stu Morrill. And so I think that's very much true. That, hey, look, I want to come play for the guy who recruited me. And I give props to Coach Blake Anderson. I don't know what that conversation was like that made him turn around and say, you know what? I want to come back. And again, I think his kids and his girlfriend are in Florida right now. And so, I mean, there's understanding that he'd probably want to go back over there. But as he says in his statement, like, he lost focus, was overwhelmed with everything going on, and it felt like he's now regained his focus back, has a chance to reset and restart, and under an offense that likes to go, you need a deep threat, and Devin Tompkins is that guy. So that helps out in a big need.
Yeah, I think that's a big win. I'm sure this coaching staff has been, look, our first priority is to try to hold things together with what we have and see if we can talk to these guys who said they're going to leave and see if we can convince them to stick around and give us a shot. Give us a fair shot. I know things were weird and the really unfortunate things that happened with the administration and the way things were or weren't handled to your satisfaction before, but we're new, and this is who we are, and this is what we like to do, and this is how you would fit into this. So I understand what happened in the past is out of our control, and it was unfortunate, but if you can stay, we'd love to have you stay because we really see how you can have an important impact on this team moving forward. We could use your help. So to have Devin Tompkins kind of throw that thing in reverse and come back, I think that's a huge win for Blake Anderson and his coaching staff.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. It's, again, that offense loves to run at a hair-on-fire pace, assuming that they do that again, and that's what Coach Anderson said they would do in his press conference. This is going to be this is going to be a team that for receivers are going to have a lot of opportunities to be playmakers. And Devin Tompkins was a great playmaker last year with a very below-average quarterback in Jason Shelley. And now with somebody who's, whether it's Peasley or whether it's Logan Bonner, those guys like to throw the ball deep, and they're accurate.
Yeah, he has the ability to take the top off of defense.
Oh, my goodness.
And he just, before he was able to really get targeted and really to showcase that, he shut it down and decided to go somewhere else.
Yeah, no, good point.
9315 makes a good point. Just think most coaches would have used that scholarship for somebody else, or am I wrong? So does that tell you how great of a coach he is? I think so.
Yeah, definitely. And we don't know who that scholarship would have gone to. Maybe it's a JC guy. Maybe it's recruitment of a high schooler coming in. But yeah, no, it's that's a great point, 9315, and I'm glad we're using the scholarship on the kid that A, is familiar with the place, and B, wants to be here. According to his statement, he wants to be here. Again, I don't know what changed. I don't know what the conversation was like between Coach Anderson and Tompkins, but obviously it was enough to persuade him to come back and finish his career at Utah State. I can't say it enough. I'll say it again. He's going to have a lot of opportunities to, and you said it too, Eric, to be that guy, the number one option for this offense. So around Quavian Tarver, Jalen Green kind of guy, that's what Devin Tompkins could be. You're going to need some help with some underneath guys, slot route guys. Hopefully they can go out and perform as well.
Yeah, I think it's a big win. I think it gives whomever the quarterback is additional weapons, at least somebody who's reliable, who's been here, who is very skilled, and it's going to help things out. Yeah, could they have used that scholarship for something else? Yeah, absolutely. They're going to have extra scholarships to hand out anyway after some of the other players that have transferred. But who knows? Maybe they're able to convince other guys to come back and stick around. But I think that's a big win for Coach Anderson and his staff. 9315 text in. I hope it's Cooper for a quarterback. I
don't know, man.
Don't know.
And I don't know how much he gets buried. And again, that's the problem when you bring a transfer quarterback in from a place that the current head coach previously was at. It doesn't spell good news for Cooper or Calvin.
I think they're going to have to all be evaluated and looked at. And I think in the end, probably one of those guys is probably going to is going to decide. Not have to, but probably one of them will decide to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
And that's too bad if they go, but I can't fault them. If you're going to be buried and not get a chance, might as well go find somewhere where you can play and get an opportunity.
But if I don't know, and maybe Cooper gets the maybe Cooper plays well in spring, but I don't know, maybe at that I don't know if I'd even give him an just because Peasley's got great experience. Bonner's had experience as well. I don't know, man.
Yeah, here's the thing: there's two strikes against Cooper. One strike is that Andrew Peasley has starting experience.
Yeah.
The second strike is that Logan Bonner has starting experience.
Yeah. That's tough. Tough.
Jason Shelley had starting experience, and we saw that didn't necessarily mean he was the better quarterback.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know if spring ball does a whole lot for them. I don't know if that would do anything. So I hope so. I just hope they all get a fair shot because I don't think Gary gave the guys the fair shot. I think his guy was Jason Shelley from the get-go. So let's hope that there's a fair quarterback competition when we reset for spring.
Well, I think for the sake of the team, after everything that's gone on in the last 12 months, it needs to be a fair. Let's put them out there. Let's run them through the drills. Let's see what we have, and we'll go with the guys that are going to give us the best chance to win.
Yep.
No favorites. That's just because if this coaching staff wants to preserve and retain and at least earn some respect from the players that are here in the program from before, that's what they have to do. If they want to come in here and say, look, this is our way of doing things, and we're going to go with guys that we know and guys that understand our system, and this is what we're going to do, and if you can't accept that or understand that, we're going to help you find a location where you can go somewhere else. I mean, that is a way of doing it, and it's been done before. It's a longer play, and it may take a little bit longer to develop a team and team chemistry.
Yeah.
It's going to get this team at the high level of the Mountain West.
That's a good point.
9315 texts in again. I think your team can never have too many quarterbacks. You never know what's going to happen throughout the season.
That's a good point because you think about it. We lost Jason Shelley. He was dismissed from the team. Peasley had COVID. So you're looking at Cooper Legault or Calvin going to Wyoming on a short week, and playing a really, really good Wyoming defense. Like, that just would have been brutal for the team and for those guys and for whoever was starting a quarterback. It would have been an unfair
But for those guys,
look.
it would have been, hey, here's my shot. I'm going to take advantage of it.
Yeah.
Here's my opportunity to show what I can do.
Yeah, that's a tough way to do it, though. So maybe, now you have experience. I know Cooper didn't get any reps last year. Probably should have. But, again, that's why you have spring ball, and you give them all a fair shake, all a fair look. And
you hope you have a spring ball. They didn't have a spring
I think they will this upcoming spring.
This last year, and didn't really have much of a fall camp either.
No, they did not. It killed them for it too. Boy.
No, but I think that if you're able to do a season, the way they were able to do a season, you can do a spring.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
I think we've learned a lot along the way. They know how to do it. And
hey, isn't Weber State football playing in this like February?
Is Big Sky still going to do that?
Yeah. They start like February 27th. That's nuts.
That is nuts.
I forgot about that. That'll be kind of interesting to watch, see happen. If they can play their season, we can get spring ball going on here.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I agree. All right, we're going to take a timeout here on the Full Court Press. When we come back, an historic moment in the NBA last night, and a Utah State Aggie was part of it.
The greatest Utah State Aggie.
We'll talk about that historic moment from an historic player.
I don't see J.C. Carroll setting records.
Coming up next on the Full Court Press. Eric Frandsen, Ajay Salvesen, and historic moment in the NBA last night. The Milwaukee Bucks made more three-point shots than anybody has ever done before in the NBA. It was an historic night. 29 made three-pointers. Pretty much everybody who put up a three-point shot made one, except for Giannis Antetokounmpo. He had like 2 attempts and missed them both. But here is the shot that set the record last night for Milwaukee in their big blowout victory over Miami.
By the Milwaukee Bucks. While you were away, Sam Merrill, the rookie out of Utah State, knocks down the 28th three-pointer of the game. Chris Webber, the Bucks have an NBA record for most threes in a game as they pass the Houston Rockets from 2 seasons ago.
Merrill knew that he was going to break that record. That's why he came in with that fresh cut.
By the Milwaukee Bucks.
So, okay, thank you, Chris. Talking about his haircut. But Sam, he received the inbounds pass on that play and kind of brought the team up, crossed half court, and just walked up. He was about 3 feet off the line and just walked up and just, boom, stuck it right in there. Had a defender on him, but he's put it right through. He has not missed from 3, Ajay. He is 100% in his 3-point field goal percentage.
Okay, so here's the thing.
In vast difference from him and Kelly Oubre Jr. we talked about yesterday.
You're in garbage minutes time, and you're a rookie, and they're 1-3 away from setting the record. And Sam's like, you know what? Screw the whole seniority thing. I'm just going to take this one's mine. Transition 3, done it. I've done this before. And he pulls up from like 3 feet beyond the arc. Like it was nothing. Like he was, as a rookie, has the confidence to be like, yeah, I'm going to take that shot. And I'm the only one taking this shot. And I'm going to keep taking the shot until I make it. I'm going to set the, I love the confidence and the swag in him. He is a blast to watch on the court. I just smile ear to ear when he's on the court. It is a blast to watch him.
Yeah,
and he's doing great things.
Him regularly.
Okay, no, but not regularly.
Well, look,
I want to see more minutes out of the guy.
Well, yeah,
Pat
that's
Connaughton,
a really good starting 5 that they have.
Pat Connaughton's a poor man version of J.C. Carroll.
Okay, I don't know. Can't tell you. I've watched a lot of Pat Connaughton.
Oh, yeah. See, but he's starting.
No, he's not.
Pat Connaughton's not starting?
No, he's coming off the bench. He played 12 minutes off the bench.
Oh, they're starting to realize how bad he is, actually.
DiVincenzo, it's the starting position over Connaughton.
See, he's pretty good. I've been playing with him on 2K. I'm on my career mode because I'm me.
If he's good there,
he passes me the ball a lot, so he recognizes greatness. So that's good. No, but
look, Merrill's he started out with like 5 minutes, and then it went to 6 or 7. He's up to 9 minutes now. Granted, these are only 4 games in, but
we're only 4 games in, and he's getting minutes.
Yeah, he's getting minutes, regular minutes, and it's not just one shot that he made. He's also sharing the ball. He's got an assist, a couple rebounds. He's active. He's doing things off the bench. I just love for the Bucks.
Like he's not timid. Like a lot of rookies, especially if you're drafted 40 and below, you feel like your job is to go in there and not screw it up. Give somebody else the ball, set a screen for them, and allow them to make the shots. Sam's like, I'm going to go in there. I'm going to go be productive. I'm going to go get mine. And he's not afraid to shoot. It's actually pretty cool. And he's... And then their quality looks, too. Like, I've been so impressed with Sam on the early going. I hope his minutes will continue to increase. They should continue to increase. And, I mean, you'll see this guy be playing in the playoffs a little bit. I don't know how much, but I would imagine he'll get that chance.
Here's Mike Budenholzer last night about the
Booty.
About the blowout and setting the record.
It obviously felt like we made a lot. So no, I had no idea, in the fourth quarter or now. Like I said, there's some nights when you're just shooting it at a high percentage, and hopefully we can do that, or something close to that regularly. But I had no idea.
So the shot that Sam made, it was actually 28, which set the record, and then they added one more. So they ended with 29 threes made last night on 51 attempts. Ajay, 56.9% from beyond the arc. I mean, that's insane. Okay. Miami, can you play a little defense, please?
Well, here's the thing. Like, the New York Knicks just took him behind a woodshed, right? I mean, the freaking Knicks. Milwaukee played like crap defensively, played like crap offensively. Eric, they shot 7 of 38 from deep. 7 of 38. And Sam Merrill went 1 of 1 from deep. But then they turn around and they hit 29. Like, I don't get how this works.
Well, like I said, looking at the box score, there was everybody who played put up a 3-point shot. Everybody who played made a 3-point shot except for Giannis. That's crazy. Everybody that you put on the court put up a shot and made at least one 3-pointer.
Hey, Bridger Vollmer just tweeted in and asked, Ajay, look at the plus minus for Sam. What was it? Do you have it?
It was +3.
Really?
Yeah.
All around. That's good stuff. 9315 texted in. I think this helps USU in so many ways, in basketball and in football. We can use it for recruiting, especially in basketball. You see what Craig Smith is doing, and we'll see what Neemias Queta's future is in the NBA if he does go to the NBA. But that will definitely help recruiting in that regard. That you can say, hey, look, we've sent 2 guys to the NBA who are contributing. Hopefully, Queta will be one of those guys as well. And that, you're right. Recruiting's a big thing. 5763. It's awesome to see Sam nail that shot and play a part in a new NBA record. Now the question is, with the Jazz lineup this year, will Utah be able to break Milwaukee's record? They shot 53s in a game, right? Utah has in a game this year.
How many?
50. Did they shoot like 50? How many did they shoot in a game against Portland?
It was about 50, yeah. Yeah, they had 50 attempts.
And how many did they make? Now I got to look.
Yeah, now I got to go back.
They made 19. So they were 10 short. 19 of 50. Boy, that's a lot. 5763. That's, man, and you got to be clicking on all cylinders to be making 29 threes. That's what's so incredible is that the Milwaukee Bucks went
they
from
shot
going
over
7 to
50%.
39. Yeah, exactly. See, but that's the point is that they go from shooting 7 to 38 in Madison Square Garden to turning around and going 29 of 50 from 3. How do you what happens? I mean, I know it's a night-to-night basis and sometimes the shot's not falling, but that drastic of a difference?
They were 50.
That's incredible.
They were 56.9% from three. Regular field goal percentage, 55.4. They shot better from beyond the arc than they did inside. I mean, just overall.
That's incredible. That's just mind-blowing to me. I love it.
That is nuts.
I'm with 5763. It was so awesome to see Sam take that shot and play a part in getting the new NBA record. And the best part of it, and I don't know if 5763 will agree with me on this or not, but the best part of it was a transition three. Like, I mean, in a game like that, you're going to run a half-court set offense, and instead Sam's like, I'm taking this thing. I'm going to nail it too. Like, I'm in rhythm. It was a step-in rhythm three. Had plenty of space, way too much space to be given that guy, and he knocks it down. It was awesome.
This is from the Milwaukee Bucks, what they shared on their own account earlier today.
In 35 attempts, and tonight 27 of 48.
All right, Sammy.
There it is.
I should have.
We talked about it. Sam Merrill hits the shot to give the Bucks the all-time NBA record for three.
That was the Milwaukee Bucks broadcast.
Dude, and I have looked at Milwaukee Bucks comments like on posts and such, and all of them are begging for Sam Merrill to get more minutes. All of them are begging for it. They're like, please give this guy more minutes. Let him play more. He's more than just a shooter, by the way. He's been a good defender in the league so far. He's played well on the defensive side of the court.
And he's been a facilitator. He's basically kind of a backup point guard. He's getting his teammates involved. He's not just in there for offense. Yeah, it's exciting to see what's happening there with Sam Merrill. To all those who said he would never make an NBA roster, he's happy to keep splashing those threes left and right.
Yeah, dude, and the people who are saying that he's not doing much or he can't keep it going, just delete your accounts, take your phone, throw it into an ocean, and think about what you are doing and what you are saying before you touch any social media ever again. Please. Because this guy is a good he's a great basketball player. Greatest in Utah State history, according to one expert.
Some kind of big news here. Looks like Preston basketball lost a game this afternoon. Lost to Middleton.
Did they have a streak?
Well, anytime they lose, it's kind of a breaking story because they don't lose.
How much?
If they do lose, it's very rare. Lost 61-52.
Oh boy.
We'll get into Region 11 and other schools in the area. Basketball here in just a little bit. But it's kind of a surprising story out of Preston. 9315. You preach, Ringmaster. So right.
Yeah. I'm tired of being right all the time, Eric. It gets exhausting. No. Again, I'm happy for Sam. I think both you and I knew he'd be successful in the NBA if he was given the right team, if he was put in the right situation. This is the right situation for him.
Yes. The way they run their offense, their style, it's a well-run organization. He's in a good spot. Absolutely.
Do you? I would really love to see what he could do with Giannis on the court. If him, Middleton, and Giannis were on the court, do you know how much space Sam would have? Like, do you know how big of a headache that would be? Like, do we go in double Middleton? Do we go in double Giannis? Or do we leave Sam Merrill wide open every single time?
Well, I mean,
that's a headache.
Through 4 games, he's showing that, well, I'm on the court. I'm going to put up a 3, and I'm going to make it.
Yeah, and I'm going to be consistently good. But I'm going to make good decisions. I mean, he has a couple of turnovers. By the way, the carry call that was called on him, I think, on Christmas Day, 95% of the NBA players don't get that called on them. But the ref's like, oh, you're a rookie. Here you go. Welcome to the league, kid.
Yeah.
So unfair. 5763. That was brutal, Ajay. But I agree, and Sam will no doubt prove himself. I think he is proving himself. I think he'll continue to prove himself, and look forward to it. I hope his minutes increase, and I hope he plays pivotal minutes in the playoffs. That's what I would like to see.
And
I'm being picky, but
it's going to be a bit of a challenge for him to get more minutes on that roster.
You think so?
Just as experienced and as deep as they are. But he keeps playing like that, and they know, hey, we need a reliable shooter on the court.
It's hard
and a ball handler.
It's hard to ignore it.
Give the guy some time.
Yeah, it's hard to ignore it. I'm excited for Sam. I really am. We need to get that guy on our show.
Well, and look, sometimes early in the season, you're going to put your rookie out there because you've invested a draft pick on him and you want to see what he's going to do. But late in the season, okay, he needs more time. He's not ready. And so some teams, like your roster early in the season is never what it looks like late in the season for most teams. But Sam, here he is. He's taking advantage of the opportunity, and he's not letting him down. He's proving that, hey, yeah, you call on me, I'm going to be ready. I'm going to help you out. Good for him.
You know what the funniest part about this is now that Sam's playing all these minutes and doing what he's doing, people are just tearing Jimmer apart, and it's sad. I feel bad because Jimmer was a great college basketball player, right? I mean, he had a great college career, and then he went to China and he did great things there against 4'0" players. I mean, just lesser talent. I'll be very honest with you, much lesser talent. But
okay, so that's this interesting point you bring up. Jimmer Fredette, if he landed in a bad situation on a bad team.
Yes.
If he would have landed in a different organization, a different team, could his path have been different?
No, because he couldn't play defense. Dude, it took Greg Popovich 6 quarters of basketball of less than 10 minutes of playing time to realize that Jimmer Fredette did not belong in the NBA. He played Jimmer for honestly, I think it was 6.5, maybe 7 minutes in 4.5, 5 games. And he realized that Jimmer Fredette was not going to fit. If Jimmer Fredette can't fit in the Spurs system, which is an all-around team system, a team theme system, then I don't know what to tell you. I don't know where else to put you. So, I mean, again, he had an incredible college career. Probably the greatest college basketball career in the state of Utah. It just never transcended into the NBA game because taking 50-footers from three and making them are good, sure. You got to be able to play defense on the other side, and you got to be able to be productive moving without the ball. Something that he was good in college, but NBA players and scouts are just so much more smarter, and he could never make the adjustment.
No, I agree. I think that's an accurate take. Even if he were to come in and his skill set in today's NBA still doesn't really fit because you're right. You can't be that bad on defense. You can't be that exposed.
Yep.
And for your team.
Yep. Good point.
All right, another timeout here in the Full Court Press. We had interesting college football games, bowl games. Like the more blue chip teams are in action. We got the bigger named bowl games happening over the next couple of days. A couple of them in the books. And we got more on the way. We'll update you on what's going on there. Also update you on some of the other games that are going on with high school basketball. A lot of teams in action tonight. One team was supposed to be in action this afternoon, but that game got canceled. But pretty much everybody else will be in action as far as I know, unless there's been another cancellation that no one told me about. But we'll update you on what's going on with high school basketball as well. Coming up next here on the Full Court Press.
The Aggies, the Jazz, the high schools, the Full Court Press on Sports Talk Radio, 106.9 FM, 1390 AM. The Fan.
Because I announced it on Twitter. I broke the news on Twitter today.
Oh, you did one of your secret things. You spoke it into existence. Except you did it on social media this time.
You've been really mean today.
Right? No, that's just like a special gift.
You made our producer come in when he didn't even have to.
He's not our producer.
Okay?
Don't
he is one of us.
Don't make him our producer, please.
He is one of us, Eric. And you made him come in on his day off. All right?
Not his day off.
Well, it was today, and you made him come in.
It happened.
You purposely made him come in.
No, I did not purposely. I inadvertently
And then
had him come in when he didn't need to
I
come in.
come in, and I'm worried, sick that you are not able to make it in on time. So I have to come in and get things going. Oh, but you're here, laughing and chuckling away. Now you're giving me crap about speaking things into an existence. I don't even know what that means.
That's a special gift. You have like a superpower. No, you're like. So I watched the new Wonder Woman.
Yeah, I heard that's a crappy movie.
That's all right, but like it's I'm not stealing giving any secrets away about the premise, but part of it is
Isn't it like the exact same thing as the one before?
Oh no. But like the antagonist, the villain, grants wishes but takes things in return. So you're kind of like, to some degree, like that. You're like you speak it and it happens.
Wait, grants wishes but takes things in return?
Yes.
So it's Aladdin, but it's Wonder Woman? That's a cool movie. Everybody really liked that one. No wonder it's getting such bad rating. Did you go to the theater to watch that, by the way?
No, somebody gifted us the HBO Max thing. So
oh, yeah.
They got this deal where when certain movies hit the theaters, they also hit HBO Max at the same time. So.
Hey, really random, by the way. Did you see that Pizza Hut 90s style was trending on Twitter?
What?
Yeah. Do you remember
Pizza Hut 90s style?
Yeah. Okay, do you remember back in the 90s? Means. Like the book it reading, like where if you read a certain amount of pages, whatever, you get a free little slip, and you get to go get a small pizza. Someone text in and tell me that I'm not crazy. 435-339-0321. But yeah, you used to like if you were like for book reading, and you would you'd get like this little slip and you get like a very small thing of pizza, and you get rewarded for it. I used to get one. And then, like, they were talking about, like, the Pizza Hut buffets back in the day. Oh, man, it made me miss what Pizza Hut used to be. It used to be one of the greatest restaurants in America.
Did you go there to do the sit-down? And
Oh, yeah, dude, like, when you used to have the buffet back in... And again, buffet, this is in the 90s, but when they used to have the buffet, oh, Eric, that was my go-to for my birthday. They had the salad bar, they had the pizza buffet. Someone text in and tell me I'm not going nuts. Someone else has to remember what I'm talking about. And that's where I got they had the Final Four basketball that you'd get if you ordered I can't remember if you ordered like a certain amount of food or whatever, but it was like this blue basketball that was a memorable souvenir of the '98 Final Four when the Utes were in it. I think I damaged that thing and I ruined it. I feel bad. Someone text in and tell me I'm not crazy, please.
Does it have to be related to that or just generally speaking?
I don't know. Just Pizza Hut.
5763. Yes, I remember that.
Yes.
I looked forward to my personal pizza at Pizza Hut for reading books.
Yes. Thank you, 5763. God bless you. Yes, Eric.
This apparently was a promotion that came after I went through school.
Yeah, absolutely.
2417. I hate to say it, but he is not nuts.
Yes, 2417 coming in clutch. Yes. See, yeah. Oh man, I'm right. I'm with 5763 at 195%.
So why was it trending?
I don't know. Pizza Hut was trending, and people were talking about the '90s style, and they had photos of what the restaurant used to really look like, and what the buffet looked like. Eric. It was heaven.
I remember going there all the time when I was in college. We would go to one. It was in town. And
what year did you go to college?
94 to 95.
Yeah, dude, that's when Pizza Hut was like just
for a few
incredible.
Years.
Yeah.
Came back 97 through 2001.
Oh, yeah. See, like in the 2000s when it went kind of south. But, oh, man, the Pizza Hut buffet it is what our great local restaurants are today.
All right, we got to call another timeout here on the Full Court Press while we think about pizza and buffets, things we can't enjoy quite to the same degree like we used to. Now. But when we come back, Utah State making some news today for their basketball schedule.
Stuff, yes.
How you can follow along. That's coming up next here on the Full Court Press.
Talking the sports you care about. The Full Court Press on Sports Talk Radio, 106.9 FM, 1390 AM. The Fan.
Utah State basketball making some news today, announcing some additional game times and game coverages that will be taking place for their men's basketball team.
As you like to say, I spoke it into existence earlier today. Mountain West will have 2 of Utah State's games air on Stadium. January 2nd at Air Force, that's a 4 p.m. Mountain Time start. And February 4th at Fresno State, that's a 6 p.m. Mountain Time start. But the big one, the big daddy of them all, and then, by the way, Wyoming, home against the Aggies on a Thursday night, will also be airing on Stadium. That's a 6 o'clock start, I believe, as well. But the big daddy of them all, the granddaddy, San Diego State Aztecs versus the Aggies. That'll be on the mothership channel of CBS. That game is scheduled for 11 a.m. Mountain Time on January 16th. 11 a.m.
Ooh.
That's a morning game, Eric.
On a network television.
Like that is Ohio State Big Ten SEC slot time that the Mountain West Conference is joining in.
It's big time.
That's huge.
San Diego State fell out of the top 25. They started to get back into the discussion. They're in one poll. They're just outside of the other. Utah State men's basketball is starting to improve. They had kind of a rough start, but I think they're dialing things in a little bit more. I think they've got a really good series this weekend against Air Force, which we'll hear more about next hour. Craig Smith with some comments that we'll hear from him. And he'll get some comments from him about Sam Merrill, too, by the way. This is an Aggie team that's improving, and these are the top teams in the Mountain West right now. Nevada had their time. New Mexico had their time. San Diego State's been pretty consistent, but Utah State is the last few years has been challenging for the top of the league. And they're trying to make a run at it again this year. Yeah,
it's going to be tough, too. Air Force is going to be a good basketball team. I'd like to see a sweep Air Force because New Mexico, you never know. I mean, the Lobos always play the Aggies tough. The Lobos always give the Aggies fits. So I'd like to see a sweep this weekend series and then get ready for New Mexico and hopefully have some momentum going into San Diego State when they come to our house.
Yeah, so some additional opportunities to see Utah State basketball on networks and platforms that should be easier to find than some of these recent ones have been. So that's good news.
And by the way, Aggie is out for the year. Lee McChesney is done playing for the year. He's got an injury. So they still got enough depth that they'll be all right.
Right, and he's only played very limited minutes.
Yeah.
So, absolutely. It's unfortunate to have anybody having an injury like that, but or be out for an extended period of time like that. But you're right, this is a team with depth and with size, so...
Eric, any quick updates we got on Regional 11 basketball at all? I know there's a bunch of teams playing today.
There are a bunch of teams playing. We're kind of running out of time for this hour, so we'll kick that into the next hour.
Interested to see how these guys do. Tournaments and such. Good teams. Green Canyon with a great win last night, by the way.
Big win.
How about that? They were down, 6.5 or something, turned things around and went on a nice little run at the end. That's a good win over a good basketball team in Idaho.
Ridgeline held their own against a really good team.
Oh, my gosh.
Down at the Juan Diego tournament.
And you said
had the lead for a good chunk of the game, but just couldn't hold on.
You said Preston lost today, too? Is that what we heard?
Yeah, I heard that.
Boy,
Preston
oh,
lost.
boy.
But so coming up next hour, we'll tell you who's playing where. A lot of teams in action today. A few more non-region games next week, and then they're right into the throes of Region 11 competition. So we'll give you the update on the standings, who's doing what, who's playing today, or some are in action right now. Others will be in action a little bit later on this evening. Skyview is going to be playing. We'll hear that here on The Fan a little bit later on tonight. We'll update you on all those teams that are in action, what those scores are, what the standings are, and we'll hear from Craig Smith, what he has to say about seeing Sam Merrill perform in the NBA, and some of his thoughts about the weekend matchup coming up this week with Air Force, and a lot of really big college football bowl games taking place this weekend. Pretty big notable names in action, some even today. One game's already been decided, a few more on tap. So I'll update you on all that coming up next hour. Stick around.
Too nervous. I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise.
There has to be relief in the NFL offices that we are finally closing in on Week 17. It's been a long and difficult season. But even in non-pandemic years, the final regular season games are always a bit dicey, a little bit tricky. A lot of teams are out of the mix. Tons of players are injured. So what's the NFL do? They want to add another regular season game. Forget player safety. I'm concerned about the quality of play. Look how many backup quarterbacks are already playing. Do we need another week of that? I get it. There's so much money to be made. Pro football is the safest bet in television. The owners are not going to turn down that revenue. The question is, when will there be too much of a good thing? 17 games might be fine, but will it be just staying at 17? Will the networks be upset if no one cares about 80% of those final week's games? Nothing's official yet, but it sure seems like the NFL is willing to find out. I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise.
The Aggies, the Jazz, the high schools. If it's the sport you care about, we're talking about it. The Full Court Press on Sports Talk Radio, 106.9 FM, 1390 AM. The Fan.
What's up, everybody? Eric Frandsen, Ajay, Salvesen. Thanks for joining us here on The Fan. 106.9 FM, 1390 AM.
Hey.
1069thefan.com and the 106.9 The Fan mobile app.
You know, if your day couldn't be any more ruined, I just found out that Dora Explorer is taller than me.
What?
No, she's the same height as me. Dora the Explorer is listed at 5'2". That moldy cheese curd is the same height as me?
You'd be taller than Boots. Isn't that the name of her monkey friend?
What? No one cares. Focus.
8577 text in. Did you see Devin Tompkins is coming back to Utah State? This is great news.
Yes, it is. We did. We hit on that in the first
we
hour.
led with that for last hour, but it's a good reset and a good reminder for those who weren't with us. But Devin Tompkins, the standout speedster from Utah State, said he was going to transfer. He was going to leave. It looked like he was heading to somewhere in Florida. But he has shared on social media that he's coming back.
So here's the question, and we talked a little bit about this in the first hour, Eric. But again, I think the great thing for Devin coming back is with the offense that Coach Anderson wants to run, which is a get-up-and-go Mach 9 offense, it creates a lot of passing opportunities. And Devin Tompkins, as you like to say, kind of takes the pressure off the underneath routes, a Randy Moss type of receiver in regards to just run verticals. If you're there, we're throwing deep. If he can get a quarterback who can get the ball to him in an accurate fashion, on-time fashion, boy, Devin's going to have a big year ahead of him. This is a good decision by Devin.
Yeah, he shared this earlier this afternoon, a little before 1 o'clock. It says, same lifetime, but a new life. And this is what he had to say in his post. First and foremost, I want to thank the Most High for blessing me with another year of life. There was a lot going on in my life at the time that caused me to become very overwhelmed with life, and it knocked me out of focus. During this recruitment process, I have learned a lot about myself, and it has helped me truly understand what it is I want out of life. With that being said, I have decided that I will be returning to Utah State for my last 2 years of eligibility. I believe in Coach Blake Anderson's vision for the team, and I believe things are going to get back on track. Thank you for all the endless love and support. May peace be with you all. Grandmaster DT with the crown.
It's big. It's really good for the Aggies. They're going to need him. He's got great speed, great athleticism. Make great adjustments on bat throws. He's going to be very, very big for this Aggie offense.
Yeah, it's good to have him back. He is a speedster. He's a very talented wide receiver.
Yeah, he is.
As we've said, coaches have praised how he can take the top off a defense, like they like to say. He can get past his defender and really stretch the field if you've got a quarterback that can get the ball downfield.
Sure.
So
absolutely.
It's great news.
Yep, absolutely.
It's a good win for Blake Anderson in the recruiting front. You've got a quarterback at Arkansas State who's coming in. Don't know where he fits in the pecking order with the other quarterbacks that are here. But he was able to get Devin Tompkins to rethink his previous decision to leave and ultimately come back to Utah State. So that's a big recruiting win for that coaching staff, who have their wide receiver coach produces amazing wide receivers. He has a track record, a proven track record of getting guys to the NFL and getting wide receivers to win offensive players of the year for their conference. So that's saying something.
Absolutely.
So excited to see that. It's good news. So 8577, thank you for reminding us to reset that.
Yeah.
That is a big story. Definitely worth mentioning and bringing back into the top of the discussion.
Can't wait to see what he can do.
One of the other things that we talked about last hour, if you missed it.
Sorry, really quickly. 9310 texted and I don't want to miss him. That is awesome news that Tompkins was possibly the best player on offense last year.
Yeah?
Yeah. I would actually say that.
Probably.
Yeah, I mean, by consistency-wise, probably say it was Tompkins. Warren's a close second. And now Warren is headed to Oklahoma State. I don't know why. But, yeah, I'd say, yeah. I'm with 9310. I'm with that one.
Yes. Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay.
I would agree with that. The other big news, Sam Merrill was part of a record night for the Milwaukee Bucks. He hit the shot that set the new record for three-pointers made in an NBA game with 6 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Got the inbounds pass from the out-of-bounds play down under the opposing basket, brought it up court, and just walked coolly up. Like the transition three, he was about 2 feet off the line and just popped it. That guy has not missed a three-point attempt so far.
The leading three-point
season.
shooter in the NBA is Sam Merrill. I told everybody, not only would he get drafted, but if he got into the right team, right spot, right situation, he'd be great.
I don't think any of us thought he'd be like all-star or even a starter per se, but I thought he'd be a rotation guy. He'd get minutes.
Hold on. Does Sam Merrill play in the rookie-sophomore all-star game?
Well, it's only 4 games. A little early to tell, but probably my inclination would be probably not.
Okay, fine. Be that way. Does he get to participate in the three-point contest? If he's in the top
early,
3,
but probably not.
What?
Because they like big names.
Okay, yeah, but
in that. He's not a known person yet.
Okay, Steph Curry's probably going to be in it. But if
Chris Middleton.
I don't think Chris will be in it. Chris is too big for that stuff. Chris ain't going to go do no three-point.
What do you mean he's too big for that stuff?
He's too big of a name. He ain't going to.
Steph Curry's not.
Steph Curry likes being in that kind of thing. He wants his crown back, man. He was out last year. He wants it back. Okay, so yeah, there's a competitive hey, I am the greatest NBA three-point shooter ever, and he's gonna go back and prove it and go get his crown. Chris Middleton doesn't give a crap. Chris Middleton is too busy riding Giannis's coattails. Okay,
I don't know.
I do.
The last couple of games, it's more Giannis riding his coattails.
Well, so if Sam is in that list of the top 5 shooters in three-point NBA percentage. You don't think that the NBA is going to be like, hey, you want to come play in the three-point contest? You're a rookie.
No. Because the All-Star Weekend is about
it's about what?
Popular players and known
That's
entities.
The All-Star game. That's the All-Star game, and that's the All-Star game. Nobody cares about the rookie softs game. We will if Sam's in it.
Well, I guess, when I think about it, they've had some players participate in the dunk contest that most NBA fans don't know who
and
they
I can
are.
tell you, nobody gives a crap about the dunk contest anymore.
I don't know. Last year's was pretty epic.
They
had to keep adding rounds. It was so good. They didn't want it to end.
No, they botched it.
Well, there was that.
Okay.
Dwayne Wade botched it.
Yeah, so no. I ain't count. We haven't had a great dunk contest since Vince Carter in 1999. Or no, 2000, sorry.
What? No.
Yeah.
Zach LaVine and Gordon had a great battle a few years ago, and then the one this last year was
this
epic.
one last year was ruined because of Dwayne Wade and that they were trying to.
Well, scoring aside,
they were rigging
the dunks
the contest.
themselves were really fun.
Okay, give me one of the dunks
creative.
give me one of the dunks that you liked. You can't remember.
They were good.
Okay, you can't remember. You can't remember. But I can still remember Vince Carter's dunk from 2000, and I can still remember Jason Richardson's dunk in 2002. Yeah. If they were great dunk contests, remember the dunks. So last year's must have really sucked. You're welcome. You're welcome. Welcome back to Earth.
Well, speaking of Sam Merrill, we'll get back to that. Craig Smith had some fun things to say about Sam and his early success in the NBA, coming off the bench, and playing some quality minutes, granted sometimes during garbage time, but he's been playing some minutes during regular time in competitive games as well. It's not just garbage time. But here's what Craig Smith had to say about Sam Merrill having some early success in the NBA.
Well, it's exciting. I was able to see a couple games. Nothing surprises me with Sam. I said that to you guys, to everybody when he played here. He's going to be successful in everything he does because of who he is, what he stands for, his character, his drive, his passion, how he treats people. He understands, he has great self-awareness to who he is and what he is. And he's a heck of a he's just a very, very talented basketball player. And, it was funny, Christmas Day they played, and the guys that were here in town. So, most of our international guys came over to the house and ate like crazy, and we had a lot of fun. And, Sean Bairstow and some other guys are like, did you see how Sam played? And I think he had 3 rebounds or 4 rebounds, 3 assists or 4 assists, knocked down 2 threes. And the guys were excited about it. So Sam's going to be a heck of a professional basketball player. He's at an organization that really believes in him. They understand who he is and what he is, and they value that. And I think that really matters too. But Sam's going to have a heck of a career, and it's exciting to see the success he's had in a short amount of period of the time, but it's just the start.
That is fun.
Okay, so I'm the one asking that question, and he had a grin on his face at first, and then either A, he realized it was me that was asking the question, he wasn't happy about it, or B, he's like, yeah, I really do miss that guy right now. No, it's awesome. And look, Coach, like, you think about him, all right? Tim Duryea, I love him. I love Coach Duryea. Great guy. But I don't think he utilized Sam to his full potential. Then Craig Smith came out and said, look, we are running everything through Sam Merrill. Everything. Even when it's meant to give the ball to Keta in the post, we're still going through Sam Merrill. And that just gave Sam so many opportunities and so many more looks and made Sam want to get better at every part of his game, especially on the offensive side. Every pregame I'd go for shoot around, I'd watch Sam work on all sorts of different things. And every night, every pregame shoot around, it was something different. It'd be getting to the elbow and then pivoting with a turnaround jumper. It'd be getting to the block and working on a post move. It'd be getting onto the wing and then one dribble to the left shoot, one dribble to the right shoot. It'd be being on the top of the key, one pump fake, step to the left, shoot. One pump fake, step to the right, shoot. It was every single night he was working on something else because that offense was running through him and he wanted to be productive and effective every time he had the ball because he felt like it was on him to score at every chance. And that's what made Sam so doggone good. And that's what makes him so great now.
Yeah, if you missed it, this was the play that was from the Milwaukee Bucks broadcast crew of the shot that set the record in the NBA last night. And, of course, it helps.
35 attempts in tonight. In 35 attempts in tonight, 27 of 48.
All right, Sammy.
There it is.
I should have.
We talked about it. Sam Merrill hits the shot to give the Bucks the all-time NBA record for 3 in 35 attempts.
Keeps repeating. So that was the Milwaukee Bucks broadcast and how they called it. But then it was a national broadcast last night. And
well, it was until he started flipping off to go to the other games.
Oh yeah, because it was a blowout. But this was the call on national TV of what Sam was able to do in their. It was a blowout game. The Miami Heat didn't show up. They didn't play defense. It was not pretty. And the Milwaukee Bucks took advantage of it. But Sam Merrill was part of it, and he helped set records, history. It'll always go until the next team breaks it. I mean, it may be broken later on this year, but insane what they were able to do. And so here's the national broadcast.
While you were away, Sam Merrill, the rookie out of Utah State, knocks down the 28th three-pointer of the game. Chris Webber, the Bucks, have an NBA record for most threes in a game as they pass the Houston Rockets from 2 seasons ago.
Merrill knew that he was going to break that record. That's why he came in with that fresh cut.
By the Milwaukee.
What the fetch, Chris?
I thought it was haircut.
Drugs, man.
Not only was it an NBA record for threes made, also an NBA record with the number of players with a three-point shot made on one team.
12?
12. Giannis Antetokounmpo was the only player on the Milwaukee Bucks team who saw action who did not make a three-point shot. That's just insane.
Does this still give you chills when you hear Sam Merrill from Utah State on a national broadcast?
That is cool.
That's just nuts.
Just like Bobby Wagner.
Okay, yeah, they don't talk about Bobby that much, so no.
Pro Bowl linebacker, yeah, they still talk about Bobby Wagner. He's the best linebacker in the NFL.
Oh, God, here we go again. Here we go.
I didn't see Kyle Van Noy on this year's list.
Oh, God,
I did see Bobby Wagner as a starter. 9310. Could Dora the Explorer dunk over Ajay?
No! Hey, you calm down, 9310. Dora would not score a bucket on me. I would lock that girl down, and then I'd take her backpack.
I just want to know, would trampolines need to be involved?
Don't you, Eric, it's crap like this.
Or what?
Taking cheap shots, all right, kicking them while they're down. I end up finding out via Twitter, all right? I'm like a player who just found out their coach is leaving on Twitter. I just found out because of Twitter that Dora the Explorer is the same freaking size as me.
Well, who declared that that's what her size is, what her height is?
I'm pretty sure Disney released her measurements and heights and her weight and all her combine results. Here's the problem.
Her hand width.
Okay, no. I would lock down Dora. Okay, she's a right-hander, so I'd force her to go left. She doesn't have a jump shot. And she sure as heck probably can't shoot a clean basketball. So she
has a magic map.
I would swat her stuff. And then I'd take her backpack and I'd run away with it laughing. Okay? We're playing for some bragging rights and for a backpack, her secret bag full of whatever's in there, in her magic map. Whatever that is.
Would you make that part of your snitch costume? When you're out there playing
is that when I have the sack? No.
Paint it gold?
Don't. Okay. By the way, if you see one of those in the costume, it's kind of crazy. Dora the Explorer has nothing on me. She might be 5'2", but her measurements and her combine results are very, very porous. She's in deep doo-doo if she plays me. So no. You make me
no love
sick.
for Dora.
You all make me sick.
That's good stuff.
Hey, let me ask you. Sam Merrill's he hasn't played double-digit minutes in the game yet, right?
Correct.
Do you think that
9? I think is his high.
Do you think that changes by the end of the season, or do you think he stays in that 5 to 9 range? I feel like he's getting better, man.
I think he keeps shooting like that. They may say, look, we got to give this guy a little more time on the floor because he's also a distributor and goes after rebounds. He's not just a sit out and lurk around the 3-point line. He's making things happen for his team.
Yeah, he's just so smart with the basketball. Really, really smart with the basketball. So yeah, it's cool to see. I'm happy for Sam. I'm a diehard Sam Merrill fan, so I'd love to see him continue to have success. Hopefully he'll stay healthy.
2417. That's called bullying. I would take her backpack.
hey, you know what? She wants to challenge me. She wants to announce her size on Google and Twitter. She's gonna get it. Okay, she's gonna get it. She wants to challenge me in a one-on-one game, openly. That's, you know what? Fine, I'm on. Let's do it.
Throw down the gauntlet.
Oh man, you see the Qualcomm Stadium / Jack Murphy Stadiums being destroyed.
Oh, they finally started bringing it down?
Yeah. Holy smokes. I'm so glad I got to go to that stadium once before they did it, though. That was, look, the press box was crummy. It was small. It was old. That stadium was in horrible shape, but that was really cool to go see a game there. I'm glad I was able to go to San Diego last year and see a game there and just walk on the field. And, of course, there's a lot of history in that stadium. So that was cool.
I've never been to Qualcomm. I've been near it. I have gone to Viejas Arena there at San Diego.
I've never been to that one. Is it pretty cool?
I
heard
it's cool.
big.
Because it's built on the old football stadium. So they built a basketball arena inside the old football stadium. Because when you're outside, you can kind of see like these stone bleachers, and that kind of goes into part of the structure. And then everything is like concessions and bathrooms are all outside on a concourse. It's really cool. So it's the second arena in the Mountain West that's going down. Not only is San Diego State working on a new facility, and they've got a new arrangement. They've been working on this for some time, but Hawaii is also making some changes. They announced just a few weeks ago that, look, we got to stop all activities here. We have to condone this arena. There were going to be like some high school all-star games and a Polynesian Bowl. And
is that where they used to play the Pro Bowl at?
Yeah. And then the Pro Bowl people are like, look, this facility is just too bad. We're going somewhere else.
Wow.
So it's been in disrepair for a long time. They've had plans. They were moving forward and developing a new arena and a big outdoor entertainment area. It was going to be a big kind of district that they were going to be putting together.
What happened?
But they were hoping to build that while the other arena was still in use. But officials said, no, it's in too much disrepair. We're shutting it down. No one can come in here and use this place anymore.
So where would the Pro Bowl be at?
Well, it hasn't been there in a couple of years.
Oh, it hasn't?
No.
Where do they play it now?
They've played it in Tampa. I think they've moved it around a little bit, haven't they?
Dude, that used to be kind of a big deal for players to be able to go to the Pro Bowl in Hawaii and hang out in the sun and
right, because it's a
play in
unique
that
destination.
Game. Yeah, that used to be pretty. And wasn't
it
like
just a regular.
Wasn't it like AstroTurf back in the day too? If I remember right.
Isn't it still?
Oh, is it still? I don't know.
Or is it grass?
Or is it like the artificial grass?
I think it's artificial.
Yeah,
because it rains so much.
Yeah, that used to be. I remember someone telling me when they went and called a game there. They said, "Look, Hawaii's beautiful, but it's not worth calling a game there. The stadium is in such bad shape."
When that announcement was made, it was kind of funny to watch all the radio and TV play-by-play people that I follow, all of them saying, "Aloha, goodbye. I will not miss not having to call another game there."
Really?
Multiple people. Multiple.
Wow. Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, Aloha
so Hawaii's got to
Stadium's-
find somewhere else to play then, huh?
Yeah, they do. And it's going to be a couple of years before this new facility is built.
Oh, shoot.
So there is nothing on that island that seats more than like 5,000 people. Now, there is a stadium on another island, I think it's Maui, that seats 15,000. So, I mean, do they get on a plane and go to another island for all their games?
Do you?
Because you have to have a certain requirement for NCAA attendance to still be considered a classified Division I FBS team.
Interesting. Yeah, that's a tough situation. Is Utah? Are they scheduled to go to Hawaii next year for conference football? I'll have to look. I don't know what their conference schedule would have been like next year.
They didn't play him this year. They didn't play him last year.
So yeah.
So they would be back on the schedule.
But I think they come here this time because I think we were there last time. Yeah, we were there 2 years ago. 3 years ago, sorry. 18.
Yeah, not last year. It would have been the year before.
It was the year before. Because who's the back? Thompson had that big night. He had that big run where he ran over 3 different guys for a touchdown. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Aggies they went to Hawaii in 2018.
Yeah.
And they won 56-17.
So Hawaii comes here. Okay. Tompkins had a night that night. That was a showcase night for him.
Thompson had 141 yards rushing.
Dude, he was a beast, and he ran over people a lot that night.
Good game for Darwin.
No one tackled him.
So, you're right. So, for 21, Hawaii would be in Logan, and then Utah State would go to Hawaii, theoretically speaking, in 22. I don't know if their stadium's going to be done by then. I thought I saw something about 23, early 23. I could be wrong. Anyway, be some different venues in the Mountain West.
Yeah. Is that so? In UNLV, have they their new stadium? Or are they still working on it? Because I know they're playing inside of Las Vegas Raiders' place, Allegiant Stadium. Yeah. Is that where their home games are going to be at?
That's where they were. They started this year.
Okay. So UNLV's got their place. New Mexico is still inside of Dreamstyle Stadium, right? They're not making any movements, I don't think.
Nope.
Hawaii, yeah, I think that's it. Nevada needs to get a new press box, by the way. That one's horrid. That one is just old, and yeah, they need to get a new one. Colorado State's is beautiful. Utah State's is great. So yeah, I think that's it. San Jose State, I've never been to theirs, but I heard theirs is pretty bad. But yeah.
Yeah, on December 17th, it was announced, the Aloha Stadium Authority, that it will be condemned, unsafe to hold any crowds at all.
Wow.
By the way, it was 2003, it was changed from AstroTurf to Field Turf. And in 2011, Field was replaced with another synthetic turf system. So
it has, so it changed a couple of times. So in 2003 is when they took out the AstroTurf.
Yes.
Took them that long? Oh my heck. Wow. Yeah, their field's beautiful. I mean, even with the AstroTurf, like the stadium, like the field and such is beautiful. And the surrounding's awesome, but the press box, seats and all that was just I've been told it was in bad shape. I was never in it in Hawaii. It was in horrible shape.
All right, we're going to call timeout here in the Full Court Press. When we come back, we'll update you on high school basketball, Region 11 teams. A lot of them in action tonight.
Hey, what went wrong Wednesday, man?
Yeah, we'll do our What Went Wrong Wednesday as well.
There's a lot of things that went wrong.
And college football bowl games, some interesting ones, some juicy matchups on the docket over the next couple of days. We'll tell you what's going on. Game already in the books. We're coming up more on the Full Court Press.
The Aggies are #1 here. The Full Court Press. Connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, and online at 1069thefan.com.
Center Cormac Sampson. He'll take, hands off to Berger, off the left side, lunging to the goal line, and is he in? No signal. There it is. Touchdown, Wisconsin. Jalen Berger crashing off the right side as the Badgers now lead 41-21.
Welcome back to the Full Court Press. Yes, we've already had some college football in action today, and Wake Forest had an early lead over Wisconsin, 14-0. And then the Badgers proceed to outscore them like 28-7 during a certain stretch. It was a pretty big comeback for Wisconsin. They ended up winning 42-28. That game was the Duke's Mayo Bowl earlier today. A game will be starting a little bit later on tonight, which should be a pretty interesting one, I think. At 6 o'clock on ESPN, it's the Cotton Bowl. Number 7 Florida, number 6 Oklahoma. You've got great quarterbacks on either side going at each other. Oklahoma is favored in this one by 8.5, but predicting a lot of points scored between these two teams. And boy, 64.5 is the combined over/under. I'm probably inclined to take the over with the way these two teams play. But there is some news that different players who may be available or not, based on COVID protocols. Certain coaches who may or may not be available. So there's we get into this time of year, and you never know now what's going on with who's available and who's not. It seems to be changing every day. But there is some news that the offensive coordinator for Clemson will not be available, and that's considered a pretty big story since he's widely considered one of the top coordinators in the country, and he will not be available. Tony Elliott, he will not be available for the Sugar Bowl, and one of the best play callers in college football. So how does the team adjust? At least maybe a few days notice to prepare and make the adjustments on who's going to be doing things differently and make some contact remotely. But still, it's a weird year with what's going on and who's available and who isn't. Players opting out. There was a weird case with Oklahoma State in their bowl game. And let me pull that one up. But they had a wide receiver who wasn't going to play, and then he decided he was going to play. Oh, yeah. And then he's like, well, after the first half, actually, I'm going to set out the rest of the game now and not participate. Really
like,
odd
how does that happen,
all went
man?
down.
How does that go from, yeah, hey, I'm going to play, and then like halfway through, you're like, you know what? This is a waste of my time. I don't want to be here anymore. I'm done.
Well, apparently it was later figured out that Coach Gundy and this wide receiver, now his name's skipping my mind, but they had talked about it. Like, he was thinking of not participating, and then they convinced him to play, but only play a half so we can get the younger guys opportunities in the second half. It's like,
yeah, dude.
Either you're in or you're not in.
Yeah, like that doesn't.
I can't so declare
bad.
at halftime.
That's so bad.
I'm declaring myself out.
And the fact that the coach was like, you know what? Let's just have you play for a half and we'll call it good. We'll be done. Oh, man.
Weird. That was quite a doozy, though, Oklahoma State and Miami.
Yeah, 37-34. I mean, Oklahoma State was cruising, dude. They were up 21-0 at half, 21 or 21-10 at half.
21-10 at half. 21-0 in the first quarter. Miami started to make some adjustments defensively, got themselves back into it offensively. Then that was the fourth quarter. It was kind of back and forth.
Yeah, good game.
But OK State gets the win.
You know, Miami just hasn't been the same Miami team for how many. I know it's obvious, but I still kind of wonder what's going on with those guys. Just hasn't been the same team for so many years. They used to be playing for like in the ACC championship, playing for an opportunity to play in the Orange Bowl, the Sugar Bowl.
When they were in the national discussion for
years.
Many years.
Yeah, ever since like 02, 03, 04, they fell off.
They're trying to be a little better. I mean, they flirt with the top 25 regularly or in the top 25.
Yeah. Hey, how about Texas whipping up on Colorado 55-33?
Neither of us saw that coming.
Yeah, and Herman.
Both of us thought Colorado would put up more.
Me too. Well, and then and Herman's undefeated in bowl games. He hasn't lost a bowl game in 4 years.
Does that take some of the pressure off of him?
Yeah. Absolutely.
The heat was dialing up on him.
Oh, yeah. Look, as long as you're winning the final game of the year, then you're in good shape. I mean, they're 7-3 on the year. That's not horrible.
Right. They're going to go up in the final rankings when the year's said and done.
Wisconsin won the Duke Mayo Bowl. They held on to the ball, but they couldn't hold on to the trophy.
heard about that.
Oh,
a celebration in the locker room.
That
and
was bad.
They break the trophy.
They break the trophy. That's bad. Could you imagine? And like the coach just walks in and everyone's silent. All right, guys, way to go. Hey, someone give me the trophy. Let's do a photo. Coach.
Why is everybody so quiet in here? We just won.
I know. What? It's like when you go into the living room and your kids are like, "Hi, Dad." What happened? Who did wrong? Hey, Cotton Bowl tonight, Oklahoma and Florida. I'm looking forward to this one in a lot of ways. Lincoln Riley's been great in bowl games, but Florida's got some serious talent on that squad. I think Florida wins this one in a runaway.
Okay, Oklahoma is favored by 8.5.
What?
Over/under is 64.5.
What are you taking?
I'll take the over.
Okay.
And I'm inclined to go with Florida.
There you go. I'm taking Florida covering.
I just think they've played a tougher
not only covering, but winning
season. And I mean, what they were able to do against Alabama, no one's been able to do that against Alabama.
No. Yeah, I think Florida's a much better team than what that line's giving them. That's crazy. And I don't think they have any guys opted out. I think everyone's playing tonight.
Busy day tomorrow. Starts at 10 a.m. on ESPN on Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve. Number 24, Tulsa, Mississippi State in the Armed Forces Bowl. At noon on CBS, Ball State versus Mountain West
San
Conference
Jose
champion,
State.
Number 22, San Jose State in the Arizona Bowl.
Man, that's like a home game for San Jose State, huh? Playing in Arizona. Not too far away.
The Spartans are favored by 9.5.
Wow. I'll take them and the points.
64 is the over-under.
Man, that's a little
I'm
high
take
for me.
The under.
Yeah, that's a little high for me.
That's San Jose State defense.
Yeah.
Then at 2, it's West Virginia and Army on ESPN.
That's a tricky game. Like
that'll do it because the other bowl games that day got canceled.
Spread offense versus Army's just pound it down your throat and enjoy it.
Very contrasting.
Oh my
styles.
gosh! If you're West Virginia, you got to score in every possession because you may only get 3.5. You may only get 3.5.
So yeah, it's going to be a busy day tomorrow. College football.
I'm excited. The Army West Virginia one really interests me. I think San Jose State runs away against Ball State. I don't think that game is going to be that close.
Then on New Year's Day, starts at 10 a.m. Georgia, number 9 Georgia, number 8 Cincinnati, the Peach Bowl. Group of 5 fans everywhere cheering for the Bearcats on ESPN. Georgia is favored by a touchdown.
You know what? I don't think Georgia's that good, and I think Cincinnati's going to expose them.
I sure hope they do.
I don't think Georgia's that good of a football team. I think they're overrated, and I think Cincinnati exposes the crap out of them, especially their defense.
Auburn against number 14 Northwestern in the Citrus Bowl on ABC at 11 o'clock. Northwestern is favored by 3.5. And that blows my mind. There's a coaching change there. Auburn really wasn't that great. I'd take Northwestern to cover.
By a lot, yeah. And this is such a slap in the face for Northwestern, the Citrus Bowl.
Yes.
They belong in something better than that, and I think they're going to go out and prove that on ABC, on national television. I think it's their day.
And then later in the afternoon, you get into the college football playoff semifinals. You got number 4 Notre Dame, number 1 Alabama, 2 o'clock on ESPN in the Rose Bowl, which is being played at AT&T Stadium.
Let me ask you. I'm going to set the line at 21.5 for Alabama. Over under.
Their margin of victory?
Yeah.
It's currently set at 19.5.
Oh, is it really?
Yes.
Oh, man. I thought I was shooting for the stars.
You thought you were being super aggressive. You're not that far off.
Hey, 5338 says, by the way, the line on tonight's game opened at Florida 2.5. Oh, my goodness. It flipped that much? I'm taking Florida. I mean, I'm taking Florida the whole entire way. Yeah. Wow, okay. Yeah, so 19.5, I'm taking Bama to cover.
Notre Dame's a good team.
So is Bama.
They beat Clemson.
Without Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
And we saw what happens when Trevor Lawrence plays.
True. Alabama defense didn't look that great against Florida.
But we saw what Florida can do.
Yes. I'm going to take Notre Dame.
Oh, wow.
To cover.
But just to cover, right?
Yes, just to cover. Alabama wins. That's a big margin in a college football playoff.
Remember the last time they played against each other? it covered.
Yes.
More than they thought it would.
And then at 6 o'clock, Ohio State and Clemson on ESPN.
Now that one's tough.
Clemson currently favored by 7.5. Their offensive coordinator will not be there.
I don't think it's going to matter. I mean, it's Trevor Lawrence. As long as he's playing, you have a shot. What's the line? 7.5?
Yep.
Are you serious? Over Ohio State?
7.5 for Clemson.
It's not a lot of respect towards the Buckeyes. Okay, I'll take it. I got Clemson covering.
I've got Clemson winning, but I think Ohio State keeps it
close
within a touchdown.
Fair enough. I don't know, man. Trevor Lawrence on that, like when he plays, that offense looks totally different. They're so good. And that defense really can lock down really well. Yeah, I'll take Clemson.
There's other games on Saturdays too as well, but we'll save those for another day. But Ajay, what went wrong Wednesday? It's a what went wrong Wednesday. What went wrong this past week?
Man,
the fact that the height of Dora the Explorer gets released on social media.
No, that really does trap me a little bit. Like, you want to come out and bring out that crap that Dora the Explorer is 5'2"? Like, that hurts a lot of people's feelings. There is a lot of people who are sensitive to that stuff, and they find out that a cartoon character of Dora the Explorer who's in kindergarten is bigger than you. That ticks you off a little bit. That upsets me. And I'd still beat her in a basketball game. I'd shut her out. She wouldn't have a shot. She wouldn't get a shot off. I can tell you that. What went wrong? Patriots. I mean, no Julian Edelman. Cam Newton's overrated. But I didn't see us getting beat that soundly by Buffalo. So maybe that. Let's see. What else went wrong? You know, some of these bowl games haven't been as good as I thought they would be. A couple of them have, but a lot of them haven't been as thrilling as I was hoping. Maybe a little bit of that. Yeah. What about you? What went wrong?
What went wrong with the Jazz defense? Just unable to as David Locke liked to say during his broadcast, you have to guard your yard. You have to be able to defend one-on-one. In 2 games, they've really struggled defensively. I mean, they were able to do enough defensively and enough offensively to get past Oklahoma City, but defensively, this Jazz team hasn't looked great in 2 games. So they have to get it turned around quickly because Phoenix is an up-and-coming team. Clippers, very good team. That's next on the schedule in a back-to-back in Salt Lake City.
Yeah, that's a good one. I think they're going to be fine, too, by the way. I think they'll be all right. What went wrong? How about the Clippers? Getting manhandled by 50 by the Mavericks. And you want to talk about teams struggling defensively? The Clippers are struggling defensively. Now, they are 3-1 on the season. But their defense hasn't been good as, everybody thought they would be. So, yeah. What went wrong? The LA Clippers Mavericks game.
Yeah, I'm going to go back to the NBA as well. What's with all the blowouts?
Oh, good one.
I mean, there are...
Good one.
It's at an historic clip right now. Almost every game is a blowout. The average margin of victory right now is almost 13 points in the NBA. This is according to ESPN Stats and Info. Teams are winning by an average of 12.98 points per game. It's the 3rd largest average margin of victory through 54 league games played in NBA history, and largest since 1971-72.
Wow. Hey, what went wrong? John Calipari Kentucky Wildcats at 1-6 for the first time since, was it 65, I think?
Yeah, shocker.
That's what happens when you build a team full of one and dones. When you say, hey, look, we don't care about national championships, we care about getting into the NBA. And then you got kids playing for themselves instead of playing for each other.
The other thing for me, what's going wrong with the Chicago Cubs?
Is it bad, though, Eric? I mean, you are in a rebuilding mode, aren't you? I know we talked a little bit about it yesterday. And you guys have faith, right, that, you go there to compete. I mean, you play to win the game. But, Yu Darvish is gone. Maybe it's time for a rebuild. There's nothing wrong with that. You got your World Series title in 2015. It's okay.
So I was reading some things on that, and you know what? They're Jed Hoyer, the Cubs president, was talking about how they're trying to avoid what happened to the Tigers and the Giants.
Yeah.
They had their moments, and they were competitive, and then they had to strip it down and start from scratch. And they've been at the bottom for a while as they try to rebuild. So they're trying to make some moves so they don't have to go so far down to come back up. But it's largely financial driven. But they've got some really key guys that are coming at the end of their terms and their contracts, and that a lot of fans love.
Are you willing as a fan to say goodbye to Chris Bryant?
I hate to say it, but it depends. What do they get in return?
What's his value, huh?
Yeah.
What went wrong for me going to the NFL? The Atlanta Falcons. Finding so many different ways to lose. It's really getting to be a joke. Dan Quinn should not have a job after the season is over. Because the ways, the incredibly horrible situational football they've played throughout the entire 16 weeks is just mind-boggling to me. So what went wrong is the Atlanta Falcons, and also I'm going to throw in there the Dallas Cowboys. The NFC East is a joke.
The whole NFC East.
It frustrates me to no end.
All right, we're going to take another time out here in the Full Court Press. When we come back, an update on what's going on with Region 11 basketball, who's playing where, how you can follow along. A lot of teams in action today. We'll update you on the current standings as well. It's coming up on the Full Court Press. Stick around.
It's the Full Court Press, weekday afternoons from 4 to 6 on Sports Talk Radio, 106.9 FM, 1390 AM. The Fan.
In overtime, take another look at this. In overtime, it was Bear River beating Summit Academy 52-49 this afternoon.
All right.
And the tournament taking place down in Juan Diego. Ridgeline is also down there. They play a little bit later on this evening. Ridgeline last night played real tough. Who did they play?
Oh, Mountain View? Mountain View? They were up on Mountain View, weren't they?
For a good chunk of the game. Mountain View has some players from out of state who their states are not playing basketball, so they moved to Utah, and they're playing there. Other games that will be in action today, Skyview's playing this evening. They're hosting Weber. Green Canyon, they're up at Idaho Falls tournament. They had a great come-from-behind win.
Yeah.
Won by 1 point last night.
Over a good Idaho team.
Yes. So they're in action for another one. Logan is at Ben Lomond tonight. Let's see. And Mountain Crest was supposed to have a game against Hunter, but that game got canceled.
Wish you would have told somebody. I hope you feel bad about that.
I do feel bad.
He was so excited, too.
He's excited every time he comes in.
And the fact that I had to take the brunt of it from somebody else.
So far, Logan is 5-1. Skyview's 5-1. Bear River, I think this now moves them to 6-3. Green Canyon 5-4. Ridgeline is 3-5, and Mountain Crest is 1-5.
Yeah, they lost to Ben Lomond, too. They need to get off to, they've got some tough games coming up. Grace, Preston's going to be really good. They lost to the number 1 team in Idaho, actually, Middleton. Middleton's a really good basketball team.
And Middleton just beat Preston today.
That's what I just said.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Mountain Crest.
No, sorry. Preston lost to the number 1 team in Idaho,
Yes.
top-ranked Middleton. But that's who Mountain Crest got to face next week. And I think they got Grace as well. And so a couple tough games coming up before they get ready for region play.
Yeah, Mountain Crest has Grace on January 5th. And then, Preston on January 12th. Sorry, I thought you said that Mountain Crest had Middleton on their schedule.
You never listen.
It's really
You wonder why.
Sorry, Dora.
Do you remember?
Confused there.
Shut up. Oh, I know what I'm going to add into that montage. I got to find it, though. You're gonna love it.
Last call, by the way. If you want to weigh in on the top stories of the
we need more.
last year.
Come on.
We'd love to get your feedback. If there was a sports story that really stood out to you, you don't have to do a full top 10. If you just want to throw a few ideas at us, we'd love to include them and get your feedback. 435-339-0321 or message us directly through the 106.9 The Fan mobile app. And let us know what you thought were some of the top sports stories of the past year.
Yeah.
There were some good ones.
We won them all, and we're going to
There were some that weren't very good, but they were still big stories.
Yep, won them all.
Won them all. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Appreciate all the feedback. Skyview basketball coming up later tonight.
Good night.